The sun had only begun to rise above the dusty streets of Orolai when Mama Oyin opened the rusty padlock of her roadside food stall. The small wooden structure sat beside a long stretch of the busy Lagos Expressway. Every morning, she arrived before the first Danfo buses filled the highway because she had customers who counted on her for affordable food, especially the factory workers who clocked in at 6 a.m. It was a normal day, at least she thought it was, until she saw something that made her heartbeat slow down in pity and confusion. Curled beside her jollof rice pot, under the wooden bench, was the same little homeless boy she had seen roaming the street for almost 3 weeks. She had noticed him the first day he appeared. His hair rough, his clothes torn like he had fought invisible battles, his eyes sharp but tired like someone who had cried too much. She didn't know his name. She didn't know where he came from. The only thing she knew was that every time she offered him food, he muttered a tiny thank you, ate quietly, and then disappeared again. But this morning was different. He looked cold. His small body trembled. And for the first time, he didn't rise on his own when she tapped his shoulder. "My Pekin, are you okay?" she whispered softly, her voice full of worry. The boy's eyelids fluttered open. He looked at her like someone waking from a nightmare that had lasted too long. His lips were dry, and she could tell he hadn't eaten anything since the previous afternoon. "I'm fine. I'm sorry," he said, as if apologizing for existing. Mama Oyin shook her head. "Don't tell me sorry. Stand up. You can't sleep on cold floor like this." He tried to sit up, but winced in pain. She noticed the bruise on his elbow, fresh and red. Something inside her chest tightened. She had 2 daughters of her own, both in boarding school. She couldn't imagine any child sleeping outside like this, especially in Lagos, where danger hides behind every street corner. "What is your name?" she asked gently. The boy hesitated, then whispered, "Cunnel." It felt like the name had been hidden for too long. "Cunnel, have you eaten?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. He shook his head. Mama Oyin rose, dusted her wrapper, and lit her charcoal stove. She began warming leftover jollof rice from yesterday, something she normally didn't do until customers arrived. As the smoke rose into the early morning air, Cunnel sat quietly, hugging himself for warmth. She placed a plate of steaming rice in front of him with 2 pieces of fried fish. When he looked up at her with surprise, she smiled. "Eat. If anybody asks, tell them you are my son." A tiny smile flashed across his face before disappearing again. He ate quickly but not greedily, like someone who knew how precious food was. When he finished, she poured him water from her blue cooler. Only then did he speak again. "Auntie, why are you helping me?" She stared at him. It was a simple question, but it carried wounds. "Because someone helped me before," she replied. "And God will be angry at me if I ignore you." Cunnel lowered his eyes. "People chase me away. They say I'm cursed." She froze, because she knew the streets, how rumors spread, how innocent children got blamed for things they didn't cause. She knelt beside him and touched his shoulder. "You hear me well, Cunnel? Nobody born cursed. Some adults just wicked." For the first time, the boy's eyes softened, as if her words wrapped him in a blanket. Customers soon began to arrive. Factory workers, cleaners, mechanics, bus drivers, they all greeted Mama Oyin. She moved with her usual energy, scooping rice, frying plantain, laughing with her regulars. But her eyes always returned to Cunnel, who stayed in a corner, helping her wash plates, arrange plastic chairs, and sweep the ground. When he found a stray coin on the floor and tried to hand it to her, she shook her head. "Keep it." "No, it's yours," he insisted. "Kai, this boy gets sense," one customer said, laughing. Cunnel blushed and slipped the coin into her palm anyway. As morning passed, a group of teenagers wearing expensive sneakers and carrying Bluetooth speakers approached the stall. They weren't regulars. They looked like street boys from wealthy homes, restless, entitled, hungry for mischief. One of them pointed at Cunnel and sneered. "See, Am, this useless boy still day here? Yesterday we chased Am. Mama, why you day allow this kind person for your shop?" Cunnel flinched. Mama Oyin's face changed instantly. "Don't talk to him like that. If hunger catch you, should you go still get mouth to insult somebody?" The boys laughed loudly. One pushed Cunnel's head lightly. "Oya, run. Abi, you want make we beat you again." Cunnel froze in fear. Mama Oyin stepped in front of him. "Touch him again, make I see," she shouted, gripping her wooden spoon like a weapon. The boys hissed and left. Cunnel's breath shook. "Thank you. You no go fear them again," she said firmly. "As long as you day here, you be my Pekin." The rest of the day passed peacefully. Customers praised her food. She gave Cunnel another meal around noon. He washed more plates, organized crates, refilled sachet water, and even helped chase away a stubborn goat trying to steal fried plantain. She couldn't deny it. His presence made work easier. He didn't complain. He didn't steal. He didn't cause trouble. But around evening, as she packed up, she noticed Cunnel staring at the road, as if expecting something or someone. "You day wait for person?" she asked. He shook his head. "No, just thinking. About your family?" He froze. She knew then that his silence held more tragedy than his words. She hadn't asked before, because she didn't want to reopen his pain, but tonight something felt heavier around him. "Cunnel," she whispered, "if you want talk, I day here." He swallowed. "I had a family, but things happened." "What things?" He didn't answer. Instead, he hugged his knees and looked away. She dropped the questions. She could tell he was carrying secrets too fragile to touch. Night fell. She gave him one more meal and told him he could sleep inside her stall instead of outside. "But what if you need space?" he asked. "Sleep there," she said. "I no fit leave child outside like dog." He laid down and covered himself with a wrapper she brought from home. His eyes slowly drifted shut. Just when she turned to leave, she heard him whisper, "Good night, Mama." Her heart melted. He had finally called somebody Mama again. She locked her stall gently, so the sound wouldn't wake him, and walked home feeling strangely fulfilled. The next morning, the day that would change everything, she arrived early again. Cunnel had already woken up and swept the entire surrounding area without being told. She smiled proudly as she prepared to start the day. But before she lit her stove, before the first customer arrived, before the smell of onion and pepper filled the air, the sound of engines thundered through the quiet street. Deep, powerful, expensive. She turned sharply. Two massive black SUVs rolled up and stopped directly in front of her shop. The kind of cars politicians used. The kind of cars wealthy men used when they didn't want to be noticed, but always were. Across the road, early morning passers-by slowed down. Drivers stopped. Hawkers stared. "Who dey find me this morning?" she murmured. The SUV's tinted windows remained shut. Cunnel froze beside the stove, his entire body trembling. It was the first time she saw fear this strong in him. Fear that wasn't a fear of hunger or insult. This fear was deep, personal. "Cunnel, are you okay?" she asked. He didn't answer. He was shaking violently. The back door of the first SUV opened slowly. Then a tall, intimidating man stepped out. Broad shoulders, serious face, perfectly ironed senator wear. He looked like a powerful figure. Another man in black suit stepped out behind him. The street grew silent. People whispered, "Who be this?" "C-car." "Nah politician?" "Why dem stop from Mama Put Shop?" Mama Oyin swallowed nervously. The man looked around once, then fixed his eyes on the small stall. On her, on Cunnel. His face tightened. Then he began walking toward them. And Cunnel took a step backward, whispering in a broken voice, "No, not again." As the man approached, the boy's breathing became rapid, terrified. The man finally stopped right in front of the shop. "Mama," he said in a deep, heavy voice, "good morning. I am looking for someone." Her heart pounded. "Who are you looking for?" she asked. The man shifted aside, revealing a photograph. A boy, a very familiar boy, a boy who looked exactly like Cunnel. Her breath caught. Cunnel's entire body stiffened like he had been struck by lightning. "Mama," the man continued slowly, "have you seen this child?" The street held its breath. Cunnel's lips parted. Tears gathered in his eyes. And that was when Mama Oyin realized this was not normal. This was not coincidence. This was not an ordinary day. This was the day everything changed. This was the day 2 SUVs pulled up to her shop. Because of him, before she could speak, another SUV door opened, and someone far more powerful stepped out. Someone whose presence made everyone on the street go silent. Someone who would expose the truth about who Cunnel really was and why he was running. If you're feeling this story already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel Tales by Wealth. Tell us where you're watching from, and let me know if you want Chapter 2 immediately. Your support keeps these emotional African stories alive. The air around the roadside stall suddenly felt heavier, as if the morning breeze itself was holding its breath. The tall man with the deep voice stood rooted before Mama Oyin's wooden stall, his eyes sharp and searching, while a photograph between his fingers fluttered slightly in the wind. The SUV engines rumbled softly in the background, their presence towering over the tiny food stand like giant shadows. Cunnel stood behind the charcoal stove, his entire small frame trembling. His hands were shaking so badly that the metal spoon he held clattered against the pot. When the man's eyes shifted toward him, he flinched as though struck. Mama Oyin swallowed hard. She had dealt with rough customers, rude neighbors, tax officials, and even touts, but never had she faced men who looked this powerful. The man wasn't just wealthy. His air carried authority, fear, and something she couldn't name. "Mama," the man repeated calmly, "have you seen this boy?" She took the photo carefully. One glance was enough. The boy in the picture was clean, wearing a neat polo shirt, standing between 2 well-dressed men at what looked like a birthday party. He was smiling, but even with that smile, the eyes were Cunnel's. She felt Cunnel shrinking behind her back like a scared animal. She looked at him, then at the man. "Why you dey find this boy?" she asked slowly. The man exchanged a look with his bodyguard, then exhaled. "Because he is missing, and because he belongs to a family that has been searching for him for months." Cunnel let out a broken sound, half gasp, half whimper. It was soft, but loud enough for the man to hear. Immediately, the man's gaze snapped toward the direction of the boy's voice. Mama Oyin shifted slightly, blocking him. "I say," she continued, raising her chin, "what happened to Am? Why he dey run?" The man folded his arms, surprised by her boldness. "Madam, we just want to take him home." Cunnel suddenly shouted, "No!" His voice cracked from fear, his body trembling harder. "I don't want to go." The man stiffened. Passers-by stopped walking. Hawkers paused their movement. Even drivers slowed their cars. This was now a scene people wanted to watch. Mama Oyin placed her hand on Cunnel's shoulder. "Calm down, my Pekin. Nobody go take you anywhere if you no want." Then she turned sharply to the man. "Oga, no vex. But this boy Don suffer outside. He sleep for ground. He no chop. He no get anybody. If wanna really be in people, why you leave him for street?" The man's jaw tightened. "It is not what you think." "Then explain," she said. Before he could answer, the back door of the second SUV opened, and a tall woman stepped out. A beautiful Nigerian woman in her late 30s, dressed in an expensive blue gown with gold embroidery. Her earrings sparkled. Her perfume filled the air. But what struck everyone wasn't her beauty. It was her eyes. Red, swollen, painful. Eyes of someone who hadn't slept for days. The moment she stepped out, she saw Cunnel. Her hand flew to her mouth. "My son." Cunnel stumbled backward as if the woman's voice burned him. "No, don't come near me," he whispered. Now the whispers from the street grew louder. "Ah, now mama be that. See how fine she be. How her Pekin take end up like this. Something no pure for this matter." But the woman moved toward him slowly, her elegant shoes crunching softly against the gravel. "Cunnel," she said, tears spilling, "my baby, please." Cunnel shook his head violently. "Don't call me that." Her face twisted in heartbreak. "Cunnel, I didn't know he would hurt you. I didn't know he sent you away. I didn't know you were suffering on the street." The tall man and senator were placed a hand on her shoulder. "Please calm down. We don't want crowd." But crowds were forming already. Lagos people loved just more than breakfast. Colonel looked confused, scared, and angry all at once. "You let him beat me," he screamed. "You let him do everything. You didn't stop him." The woman collapsed to her knees right there on the dusty roadside. "No mother will watch her child suffer," she sobbed. "They told me you were staying with your uncle. They told me you were fine. They told me you were learning work. They lied. Your father lied to me. I didn't know you were thrown out. I didn't know he'd chase you from home." Colonel's breathing faltered. "You didn't know?" She shook her head desperately. "I swear on my life, I didn't know." The man and senator were leaned close to her. "Madam, please stand." "Not here. People are filming." Indeed, many bystanders now held their phones up. Colonel's eyes filled with tears. His voice wavered. "Why? Why didn't you look for me?" That question, that single question, shattered the woman entirely. "I did," she cried. "I have been looking for you for months. Police, private investigators, posters, radio stations. I tried everything. But your father told everyone I was mad, that you were safe, that you didn't want to see me." Her voice cracked. "I almost died looking for you." Colonel covered his ears. He didn't know what to believe. He had lived through too much hurt. Mama Oyin watched all of them with a pounding heart. This was no ordinary family problem. Something deeper had happened. Something violent. Something dark. She stepped forward. "Madam, please stand up. This place dirty." The woman stood shakily, wiping her tears. The senator-looking man then turned to Mama Oyin. "We just want to take him to safety, to his real home. He is not supposed to be here." Mama Oyin's voice sharpened. "If he follow you and to go harm him?" "Harm him." The man looked offended. "Madam, that boy is heir to billions. His father is one of the richest businessmen in Lagos. And he pointed at the trembling child, "is his only son." Gasps erupted around the street. "What?" "Jesus. Billionaire Pekin?" Colonel sank to the ground, overwhelmed. The woman rushed to kneel before him. "My son, I know your father hurt you. I swear I didn't know. But you're not going back to that house. I left him forever. You will stay with me." Colonel stared at her deeply. "Mummy," he whispered for the first time. The woman burst into tears again and hugged him tightly. Colonel remained stiff for a moment, then slowly wrapped his small arms around her. Mama Oyin wiped her eyes. But just as she thought the story had ended, the senator-looking man received a call. His face darkened. He cut the call and said urgently, "Madam, we must go now. Your husband knows we found the boy. He is coming." Colonel's mother froze. "You mean?" "Yes," the man said. "He is on his way, and he will do anything to take that child back." Colonel gasped, fear flooding back into his eyes. No, I'm not going back to him." The woman clutched him. "You won't, I swear." The man nodded to the bodyguards. "Move them into the first vehicle. Now." One bodyguard tried to lift Colonel, but he screamed, "No, I'm not going. I'm not leaving Mama Oyin." Everyone paused. Colonel turned to the food cellar with full, desperate eyes. "You fed me. You saved me. Please don't let them take me away alone." The woman looked torn. The senator-looking man approached her slowly. "Madam, this woman took care of him. We owe her everything. She can come with us if she wants." Colonel's mother nodded instantly. "Please, come with us. Come just until we reach safety. I want to thank you properly." Lagos people gasped again. "You want to carry Mama put shop in her SUV? God Don bless this woman today." But Mama Oyin lifted her chin. "I go follow Una. But if Una try anything funny, I go shout the whole Lagos wake up." The man almost smiled. Understood. The bodyguards escorted them toward the first SUV. Colonel grabbed Mama Oyin's hand and didn't let go for a second. She held him firmly, her heart beating fast. Just as they reached the SUV door, a loud screech ripped through the road. A third vehicle, a long black Jeep, swung into the street, nearly hitting a kiosk. The car door flung open before it fully stopped, and a tall, furious man stepped out. His presence alone made the air tighten. Sharp eyes, fine Igbata, gold wristwatch, agitated energy. Cunnel choked on his breath. "Mama," he whispered. "That's him. His father, the billionaire, the man who sent him away." And he looked ready to destroy anything in his path. The sound of the billionaire father's angry footsteps hitting the gravel felt like thunder shaking the small roadside space. The entire street, already filled with murmurs and scattered gasps, grew silent as he approached. Even the breeze seemed to pause, unsure whether to blow or freeze. Cunnel's small hand tightened around Mama Oyin's fingers until his nails dug into her skin. She didn't flinch. She tightened her grip back, her heart pounding so loudly that she feared he could hear it. The man stepped closer, eyes sharp and burning with something more dangerous than anger, pride mixed with entitlement. His Igbata swayed behind him like a piece of cloth carried by invisible flames. A gold wristwatch glinted on his wrist, catching the morning light like a warning signal. His gaze moved slowly across the scene. The two SUVs, the bodyguards, his wife who was still holding Cunnel protectively, and finally landing on the boy himself. His eyes narrowed. "Cunnel," he said, voice low, deep, controlled in a way that made the street tremble. "Come here." The boy shook violently and hid further behind Mama Oyin. The billionaire's jaw tightened at the sight. "You're still stubborn," the man muttered. "Even after everything you put this family through." The mother gasped. "Everything he put this family through? Are you out of your mind? This child is traumatized because of you." He didn't even acknowledge her. His eyes stayed locked on the boy like a hunter watching prey that dared to escape. "You," the man said, moving closer, "have embarrassed me. You left the house like a runaway thief. You brought shame to my name. And you think you will hide behind strangers." Cunnel's lips quivered. "You chased me out," he whispered. You said I wasn't your son anymore." The billionaire froze for half a second. Only half. His eyes flickered at the crowd, realizing people were filming. He smiled the fake, controlled smile of a politician. "My son is confused," he said loudly, addressing the bystanders. "He had a small misunderstanding with me and left home. I have been searching for him. Thank God we found him." Cunnel shook his head violently. "Stop lying." The crowd murmured. "This man won twist story." "Nah, so rich people they do." "Let the boy talk." The father ignored them and came closer, stretching his hand toward Cunnel. "Let's go home." Cunnel screamed and clung to Mama Oyin's wrapper. No, don't let him take me." The woman held him firmly, her heart breaking at how violently he trembled. Cunnel's mother stepped between them. "You dare touch him. I swear you will regret it." The billionaire father's eyes darkened. "You have no right to speak about regret. You left the house. You divorced yourself. You abandoned me, and now you want to claim moral superiority?" "I left because you are a monster," she snapped. "Because you beat our son. Because you broke him. Because you nearly killed him." Gasps erupted. The billionaire laughed, a sharp, sarcastic laugh. "Please, I discipline my child. Mothers like you are the reason boys grow soft." "Our child didn't grow soft," she shouted, tears spilling. He grew terrified. The man turned to the crowd again, adjusting his Igbata. "People of Lagos, don't let this woman deceive you. She left her son behind. She left her marriage. She—" "Shut up," she screamed. The sound startled even the bodyguards. Then she pointed at Cunnel. "Look at him. Look at that bruised elbow. Look at how he trembles at your voice. Look how he cowers like a dog when you approach. What did you do to him? What did you do to the child we created together?" The billionaire inhaled sharply. His pride was cracking. His composure was slipping. "You will not embarrass me on the street," he growled. He stepped forward again, fast, aggressive, like someone ready to snatch the boy by force. Immediately, the senator-looking man stepped in front of him. "Sir, please. Not here. The press will spin this. Cameras are on." "I don't care," the billionaire snapped. "That is my son." The man replied coldly. "Not when the court has already placed temporary protective restriction due to allegations of abuse." The billionaire's head jerked. "What restriction?" The senator-looking man smirked. Maybe you should read your emails more. Laughter rippled through the crowd. The billionaire's face shifted, surprise, then anger, then something sour like humiliation. He turned to his wife. You did it. You used your people against me. She stared at him. I used the law, and I will finish what I started. Cunnel trembled harder and clung to her dress. The billionaire's rage finally snapped. Give me my son. He lunged forward. Cunnel screamed. The mother screamed. The crowd shouted. But before the billionaire could reach the boy, Mama Oyin, who had been silent, observing, weighing everything, stepped directly in front of him. Her voice rose, loud, firm, full of fire only a real Lagos woman could carry. Olga, stop there. Everyone froze. Even the billionaire paused, stunned that a roadside food seller dared raise her voice at him. You no go carry this boy anywhere, she said, eyes blazing like charcoal fire. Who are you? He thundered. She didn't flinch. I be the woman way keep your Pekin alive when you throw him away. I be the one way feed, and when hunger, almost kill am. I be the one way give him water, give him place sleep. Where you day when rain beat, am under bridge. Where you day when touts pursue am. You day house day count billions. He opened his mouth, but she didn't give him a chance. You say he brings shame to your name? Nah, you bring shame to fatherhood. The crowd cheered. Tell him. Correct, Mama. The billionaire shook with fury. This is none of your business. It be my business, she said, standing even taller. Because God no day happy when adults bully children. And me too, I no day happy. The mother stepped beside her. She's right. You're not touching him. The senator-looking man nodded. Sir, please step back. The billionaire puffed angrily, but he obeyed. Only physically. His ego stood forward defiantly. Cunnel held on to Mama Oyin, crying quietly. She bent to wipe his tears with her wrapper. My Pekin, no cry, she whispered. Nobody go hurt you. The senator-looking man turned to Cunnel's mother. Madam, we need to leave now before he creates a bigger problem. She nodded but looked at Mama Oyin. Please don't leave us. Come with us. You're the only person he trusts right now. Mama Oyin hesitated. Yes, Cunnel whispered, gripping her harder. Please. She touched his head gently. Okay, I day go with Una. The billionaire's face crumpled into a scowl. So that is how it is now? My son prefers strangers to me. Cunnel looked at him with pained eyes and whispered, You are not my father. The billionaire staggered like he'd been slapped. Everyone gasped. Cunnel's mother covered her mouth, emotional beyond words. The boy continued, voice trembling but firm. A father does not beat his child. A father does not throw him out. A father does not tell him to die. Now the billionaire's facade shattered completely. His eyes widened. His lips parted. For once, he had no script, no lie, no defense. Cunnel turned away, still trembling. The mother hugged him tightly. The bodyguards quickly ushered them toward the SUV. The crowd created a safe passage for them. Just as they reached the car door, Cunnel turned back briefly, not toward his father, but toward his past. His voice was small but powerful. I'm not coming back. The billionaire clenched his fist so tightly his gold wristwatch dug into his skin. He shouted, desperate now, Cunnel, you don't know the world. You don't know how dangerous it is. You can't survive without me. Cunnel whispered, I survived because of her. He pointed at Mama Oyin. The billionaire swallowed hard, looking at her with new expression. Not anger, not pride, but wounded humiliation. The mother pulled Cunnel into the SUV. The bodyguards helped Mama Oyin in as well. The senator-like man climbed in last. Seconds before the door shut, Cunnel's mother said to the food seller, Thank you for saving my child. The SUV started their engines. The billionaire stood there trembling with shock, anger, and defeat as the vehicles pulled away. But just when the SUVs turned toward the expressway, another car, black, tinted, different from the previous, turned the corner sharply and followed them. Cunnel saw it through the rear glass. His voice cracked. Mummy, someone is following us. The senator-like man looked back and frowned. Driver, increase speed. Now. Cunnel's mother held her son close. Mama Oyin's eyes widened. The black car accelerated. The SUVs accelerated too, and the chase began. If this chapter touched your heart, please subscribe, and comment below. Tell us, should Cunnel finally get justice, or should the truth about his father be exposed publicly? Your engagement helps this story reach more people who love emotional African stories like this. The SUV sped to the Lagos Expressway, weaving between early morning traffic as the sun slowly climbed above the horizon. Inside the first vehicle, tension pressed against the air like invisible fists. Nobody spoke. Nobody breathed comfortably. Every heartbeat felt louder than the engine. Cunnel clung tightly to his mother on one side and Mama Oyin on the other. His tiny fingers dug into their arms as he stared out the back window, eyes wide with fear. The black, tinted car behind them remained at a steady distance, refusing to slow down, refusing to disappear. Cunnel's mother tightened her embrace. What do they want? Why are they following us? The senator-looking man leaned forward from the passenger seat. Driver, keep your pace. Don't panic. Then he turned his gaze back to her. Madam, I suspect it's your husband's men. Her eyes widened in horror. Already? How did he move this fast? Men like him always prepare for war, the man replied. And he knew that if he didn't get the boy by force today, he might never get the opportunity again. Cunnel trembled violently. He wants to take me away. Mama Oyin placed a calming hand on his shoulder. My Pekin, breathe. You day safe with us. Nobody go carry you again. But the panic in his eyes didn't ease. The sight of that black car brought back nights he slept under bridges, thinking his father would find him one day and finish what he started. It brought back memories of raised belts, loud footsteps, broken plates, and bruises he was forced to hide. The mother held his face gently. Look at me, Cunnel. I won't allow him to hurt you ever again. Not today. Not tomorrow. Never. Her words were sincere, full of fire, full of truth. But outside the vehicle, danger grew closer. The driver checked his mirror again. Oga, that car no day joko. He follow us like say dem tie rope join am. The senator-like man nodded. Prepare to take the third mainland bridge. We'll use the traffic density to our advantage. Cunnel's mother gasped. The bridge? But what if? We won't be trapped, the man assured. Better to be among people than alone on a quiet road. Quiet roads help men like your husband. The SUVs sped onto the lane. Around them, hawkers carried trays on their heads. Commercial buses sped past. Horns blared. Traffic officers shouted commands. Lagos was awake. The mysterious black car entered the same lane. Cunnel's grip tightened. His breathing quickened. He whispered, He found us. He will take me back. He will... No! His mother cut in quickly. No, he won't. She cupped his cheeks and wiped his tears. Look at me. You're not that helpless boy anymore. You're not alone. You're not unloved. You're not unwanted. We are with you. He stared at her, eyes shaking. But what if he gets angry and... He's already angry, she said softly. But his anger doesn't control your destiny anymore. The SUV bumped slightly as traffic thickened. The black car also slowed but never stopped its pursuit. The senator-looking man picked up his phone and dialed someone. Hello? Yes. Plan B. We need support immediately. We're approaching the bridge. And it's urgent. He ended the call and looked back at Cunnel. You'll be okay. I promise you. Cunnel nodded weakly, though fear still swallowed him. His mother stroked his hair. If anything happens, protect yourself first. Don't worry about me. Cunnel shook his head quickly. No, if they take you, they won't. For a moment, mother and son clung to each other as if the world outside wanted to tear them apart again. Then something happened. The black car suddenly accelerated aggressively. Driver, the senator-looking man shouted. The black car swerved sharply, trying to pull up beside them. People on the road screamed as the vehicle cut through lanes recklessly. Cunnel cried out, covering his ears. It's him. It's him. Mummy, he's coming. The mother hugged him tightly. It's okay. Don't look. Chaos unfolded around them. Okadas scattered. A Danfo bus horned angrily. Hawkers dropped their products as they jumped out of the road. The driver swerved left. The black car swerved left. He swerved right. The black car swerved right. "Na dem de pursue us, oh," the driver panicked. Then the black car came so close that the SUVs could see the silhouette of a man in the back seat. A powerful silhouette. A familiar silhouette. Cunnel froze. "It's him," he whispered. "He's inside the car." His mother's heart stopped. Mama Oyin felt a cold wave spread through her body. The billionaire father was inside the pursuing vehicle. He wasn't finished. He wasn't backing down. And he wasn't following them just to talk. He was chasing his son like a tiger chasing prey. The senator-looking man made another call. "Where's the backup?" "No, we need them now." But before any support arrived, something unexpected happened. Another vehicle, a smaller silver Toyota, appeared out of nowhere and cut directly between the SUVs and the black car. The black car slammed its brakes. Drivers shouted insults. The sudden barrier forced the billionaire's men to slow down. Inside the silver Toyota, two men wearing white shirts waved frantically at the SUV. "Mama," they called. "Madam, follow us." The senator-looking man narrowed his eyes. "Who are they?" Cunnel's mother squinted. "I know them. They're my cousins. They came to help." Immediately, the man nodded toward the driver. "Take the exit. Follow the Toyota." The SUVs turned sharply into a smaller road. The Toyota followed closely, guiding them through narrow shortcuts and tight streets. Behind them, the black car struggled to follow. Cunnel peeked through the back window again. "They're still coming." The mother held him tightly again. The Toyota led the SUVs to a more crowded area, a Jeej market side. The moment they entered the noisy, chaotic market lanes, the Toyota honked loudly and directed them into a closed-off section behind a warehouse. The vehicles parked. Engine off. Doors locked. Silent. Cunnel clung to his mother, breathing hard. Mama Oyin wiped her face with her wrapper. "God, see as person heart fit comet." Then she held Cunnel firmly. "My Pekin, you day safe. Nobody go find us here easily." The senator-looking man looked out the window, scanning. "We wait here. My men will meet us." Cunnel's mother wiped her tears. "Thank you, all of you." Cunnel looked up at Mama Oyin, voice small. "Are we safe?" She nodded slowly. "For now." But then her expression changed. Her eyes narrowed. Her head turned slightly. A shadow moved outside the warehouse wall. Then another, and another. Cunnel's heartbeat doubled. "Mama," he whispered, "someone is outside." Everyone stilled. The senator-looking man reached for the door lock, but before he could speak, a loud bang slammed against the outer warehouse gate. Then another, then a third. Cunnel screamed, "They're here!" His mother hugged him tightly. Mama Oyin's eyes widened in terror. The senator-looking man cursed under his breath. "He tracked us." "How?" The banging grew louder. Another slam. Another. Each hit sounded like war drums. Cunnel covered his ears, crying. "Mummy, he found us. He found us again." His mother tried to speak, but fear choked her voice. The senator-looking man exhaled sharply. "Prepare yourselves. This is no longer about chasing. This man wants the boy at any cost." The banging stopped suddenly. Silence fell. Then the warehouse gate groaned slowly. Metal screeched. Feet approached, and a voice pierced the silence. A familiar voice. A voice they all dreaded. "Open the door." Cunnel froze. It was his father, standing outside, ready to break through anything standing in his way. The warehouse yard fell silent, so silent that even the humming of generators nearby felt distant. The SUVs had hidden behind the stacked crates and rusted metal sheets, their engines off, their windows fogging lightly with the heat of anxious breathing. Inside the first vehicle, everyone froze as the billionaire father's deep voice echoed from outside the gate. "Open the door." The words carried the weight of command, threat, pride, and desperation all at once. Cunnel pressed himself between his mother and Mama Oyin, trembling so hard it felt like the seat beneath him shook. Mama Oyin wrapped both arms around him, her wrapper dampening with his sweat and tears. The mother's jaw tightened. "He found us again," she whispered shakily. "How does he keep finding us?" The senator-looking man narrowed his eyes. Either someone is feeding him information or he has people watching every entrance to the market. But don't panic. Backup is coming. Cunnel met his mother's eyes, voice trembling. "He won't stop, right? He will keep coming." She pulled him close. "I won't let him take you, even if I have to stand in front of him with my bare hands." Another bang shook the warehouse gate, this time harder. Then a pause. Then another strike. Louder, more forceful. The metal gate rattled violently. Cunnel whimpered and buried his head into his mother's chest. The mother stroked his hair, even though she herself felt her hands trembling. The senator-looking man reached quietly toward the door. Opening a fraction, he peered out between the crates. "I can see 3 men with him," he whispered. "Large build, possibly private security. All wearing black, eyes scanning everywhere." Cunnel's mother closed her eyes. "He didn't come to talk. He came to take him." Cunnel whispered, "He wants to punish me. He told me I don't deserve to live with rich people." The mother's heart broke again. "Baby, no. No child deserves what you went through." Another slam hit the gate. This time the hinges cried in protest. The senator-like man spoke again, voice lower now. "We need to prepare to move. We can't be cornered here." "But how?" the mother asked. "I'm waiting for the signal from my men. They should be close. But if the gate falls before they arrive, we may have to run." Cunnel clung harder to Mama Oyin. "Mama, don't let him take me. Please." Something inside the food cellar ignited, a fierce protective warmth she didn't even know lived in her. "I day here," she whispered. "I no day go anywhere. Nobody go touch you." Another loud bang, this one so forceful that dust fell from the warehouse roof. Everyone jumped. Cunnel squeezed his eyes shut, shaking violently. Then something new happened. Voices. Shouts. Not from the billionaire's men, but from outside the warehouse entrance. The tone was sharp, commanding, authoritative. The senator-like man's eyes widened. "Wait, someone else is here." The billionaire's voice roared back. "Stay out of this." That was followed by screams of alarms from market people. Car horns. Running feet. Confusion. Then, a sudden deep voice shouted, "Stand down immediately. This area is under surveillance today. Move away from that gate." The senator-like man's face shifted. "That sounds like police or a task force unit." Cunnel's mother leaned forward. "Are they here for us?" "No," he responded. "They were likely patrolling nearby, but their presence may stop him temporarily." They listened. Footsteps. Boots. More voices. A sharp metallic bang echoed again, this time followed by the distinctive click of guns being cocked. Then silence. Even the air froze. Cunnel held his breath. Then the billionaire's voice came again, except softer now, not directed at the child but at the officer outside. "I know my rights. That boy is my son. I am taking him home." The officer's deep voice responded. "Not without documentation. Not by force. Not today. Step back." Another silence. Then the officer again. "Move away from the gate or we will intervene." A tense pause followed. A pause filled with ego, power, law, and the sound of a man wrestling with the fact that his usual intimidation wasn't working. Finally, the billionaire snarled, "This isn't over." The footsteps outside shifted. The senator-like man peeked again. "He's stepping back, but he hasn't left. He is talking to his men. He looks furious." Cunnel took a shaky breath. "Will he go?" The man replied honestly, "Not yet. But he can't break in while the police are present." For the first time since the chase began, a thin moment of relief washed through the SUV. Cunnel's mother leaned back and exhaled shakily, placing a trembling hand on her son's cheek. "You're safe. For now." Cunnel buried his face into her stomach, sobbing from exhaustion and fear. Mama Oyin rubbed his back slowly. Cry, my Pekin. Cry, everything way day your chest. No child supposed carry this cane fear. Minutes passed. The banging had stopped completely. Outside, the billionaire's voice rose again and again in aggressive arguments, but no more metal strikes came. The senator-like man finally said, "This is our moment. We leave now." The driver blinked. "But police day outside." He replied, "Good. Their presence is a perfect distraction. Their focus on him. We slip away through the back entrance." Cunnell's mother nodded fiercely. "Let's go." They opened the back door of the SUV silently. The senator-like man signaled with 2 fingers. Move fast, no noise. The back of the warehouse opened into another narrow alley with crates and sacks of yam piled high. The senator-like man jumped out first, scanning the area. "All clear. Move." Cunnell stepped out holding his mother's hand with one hand and Mama Oyin's with the other. He was still shaking, but at least the roaring fear had quieted to a whisper. They followed the senator-like man through the alley. The crates shielded them from view of the front entrance. They moved swiftly, turning into smaller lanes behind the market. Chickens scattered. Vendors stared with confusion, but said nothing. Cunnell stumbled once, but Mama Oyin caught him quickly. "Steady, my Pekin." After about 5 minutes of weaving through narrow corridors, they reached a deserted loading yard. A white minibus sat parked near the far wall. "What is this?" the mother asked. The senator-like man smiled slightly. "A cleaner exit vehicle. No tinted windows. No suspicion. My men left it here before coming." They boarded quickly. Cunnell sat between the 2 women, his breathing still shallow but calmer. The engine started. The minibus pulled out gently onto a less crowded road. Cunnell exhaled and leaned back, his eyes closing for a moment. For the first time in what felt like years, he felt warm arms around him. Not hands that pushed, beat, or punished, but hands that protected. But just when the fear seemed to settle, Cunnell's mother touched the side of his face and frowned. "Baby," she whispered, voice cracking. "Who gave you that scar on your chin?" Cunnell froze. Slowly, he lifted his fingers to touch the tiny line beneath his jaw. It was barely visible unless one looked closely. His mother swallowed. I never saw it before." Cunnell lowered his head. He did it. The minibus grew quiet again. Too quiet. "Your father?" she asked gently. Cunnell nodded. Mama Oyin covered her mouth. Tears filled her eyes again. The mother closed her eyes painfully. "How?" Cunnell's voice was soft, hollow, remembering. "I dropped his phone by mistake. He said I embarrassed him. He slapped me. I fell and hit the table. Blood came out. He told me to clean it." The senator-like man clenched his jaw. "Jesus." Cunnell continued, voice cracking. "When I cry, he say I'm making noise. He locked me in the storeroom. No light, no water. He say I should learn to behave like his son." The mother's tears flowed uncontrollably now. She held him so tight he could barely breathe. "I didn't know. Oh, God. Cunnell, I didn't know." Cunnell sobbed softly. "You weren't there. You were always gone. He told me you left because you didn't want me." "I never left you," she whispered. "I was forced out of the house during the fights. He pushed me away from you. I never abandoned you. You were always my baby." Cunnell cried harder. Behind them, the market noise faded. The minibus turned onto a quiet residential road. Sunlight filtered through the window, bathing Cunnell's tear-stained face in golden light. For a brief second, peace returned. But peace in Lagos never lasts long. Just as they approached the junction, the senator-like man's phone rang. He answered, listened, then his face drained of color. "What is it?" the mother asked. He breathed out shakily. He left the warehouse. "Good," she said. "No," he replied, voice heavy. "He left because he located our exit vehicle. He knows which road we took." Cunnell's heart stopped. The minibus slowed as the driver neared the intersection. The senator-like man looked up slowly, and there, standing beside a parked vehicle, blocking the junction, was the billionaire father, not yelling, not chasing, not running, just standing, waiting, eyes burning. slight smile on his lips, like a hunter who had cornered wounded prey. Cunnel gasped and grabbed his mother. She felt her blood turn cold. Mama Oyin whispered, "Jesus Christ of Nazareth." The senator-like man whispered, "Driver, reverse." But before the minibus could reverse, the billionaire lifted his hand, and a second black SUV pulled into the junction behind them, blocking their escape. Cunnel screamed. His mother froze. Mama Oyin felt her knees weaken. The senator-like man cursed under his breath. "He trapped us." The billionaire took a slow step forward. Then another. Cunnel shook uncontrollably, whispering, "No, no, please no." The billionaire father paused, lifted his chin, smoothed his igbata, and said in a calm, chilling voice that made everyone in the minibus freeze, "Bring me my son." If this chapter touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments. Should Cunnel's father be exposed publicly for everything he did? Or should the mother escape with her son forever? Your support helps this powerful African story reach more people. The minibus rocked slightly as the driver hit the brakes too hard, his hands shaking on the steering wheel. Dust rose from the tires and hung in the air like suspended fear. Silence gripped the vehicle for a moment. Thick, suffocating silence broken only by the faint whimper escaping Cunnel's lips. The billionaire father stood in the middle of the narrow junction, as if he owned the road, the city, and the destinies of everyone inside the minibus. His igbata fluttered gently in the wind, his gold wristwatch catching the morning sunlight, making him look less like a man and more like a looming threat carved from arrogance and anger. Behind the minibus, the second SUV idled, blocking any hope of reversing. The driver swallowed loudly. "Oga, we done trap." The senator-like man leaned forward, staring at the billionaire through narrowed, calculating eyes. He planned this. He planned all of it. He must have people watching every exit route. Cunnel tightened his hold on his mother's dress. His small fingers gripped so hard that the fabric twisted. His mother pulled him closer, resting her forehead on the top of his head. She could feel his heartbeat. It felt like a trapped bird beating its wings against a cage. "Mummy," Cunnel whispered, "he's going to take me. He's going to hurt me again. I don't want to go. Please don't let him take me." His mother stroked his hair with trembling hands. "I won't let him. I won't. Not even death can make me hand you to him again." Mama Oyin placed one hand on Cunnel's back, the other over the mother's shoulder. "My children," she murmured softly. "Luna go use the fear to fight. No give am your weakness." But her own heart hammered inside her chest. The billionaire lifted his chin and took another slow step forward. His voice carried across the quiet road. "I am done chasing you people across Lagos like criminals. Bring me my son and nobody gets hurt." His calmness frightened them more than his anger. The senator-like man opened the side door slightly to peek out. Immediately, one of the men from the second SUV shouted, "Close that door." He shut it quickly. Cunnel's mother looked at the senator-like man. "What do we do now?" He took a slow breath. "We negotiate, and we buy time until my men arrive." Cunnel's mother stared at him. "Negotiate? With that man? He doesn't negotiate. He destroys." "Not if we force him to," he replied. He unlocked the door and stepped halfway out, just his upper body visible. The billionaire's eyes snapped toward him. "Oga," the senator-like man called. "There are better ways to handle this." The billionaire scoffed. "I have no interest in conversation. I have business to handle. My son is coming with me." The mother leaned toward the senator-like man and tugged his sleeve. "Don't leave me here. Don't leave him with him." "I'm not leaving," he whispered. "I just need to keep him distracted." The billionaire clasped his hands behind his back. "Give me the boy." Cunnel squeezed his eyes shut. Tears leaked through. "No!" The senator-like man answered boldly. "The boy is under protective restriction. You defied it already. Don't make this worse." The billionaire's face darkened. "You think some useless paper can stop me? I am his father." The mother shouted from inside the minibus, unable to stay silent any longer. "You are a monster. Fatherhood is not biology. Fatherhood is how you treat a child. The billionaire snapped his head toward her. His eyes narrowed into two sharp lines of fury. You dare open your mouth to speak about how I treat my family? You? The woman who left her child and ran off to go lie with her mother like a coward. She pushed the door open and stepped out halfway, shaking but brave. I didn't leave him. You forced me out. You locked me out for days. You told me that if I entered the house again, you'd break every bone in my body. Gasps escaped from bystanders, peeking from shop fronts and windows nearby. The billionaire stepped closer, voice lowering into a quiet, chilling tone. You know what you are? An ungrateful woman. I gave you everything. Cars, mansions, clothes. And you left me because of one small misunderstanding. Her voice cracked. He nearly died that night. You nearly killed him. The billionaire's brows furrowed. Lies. Cunnell's voice rose weakly from the back seat. It's not lies. You beat me. You said I was useless. You said I was a disappointment. You made me sleep in the storeroom in the dark. The billionaire flinched, not from guilt, but from the fact that someone dared expose him in public. People were gathering, market women, Okada riders, motorists. Phones were coming out. Cameras were recording. And Lagos was a city where news spread faster than fire. The billionaire raised a hand sharply. Stop recording. Everybody stop recording, or I will. Or you will what? A market woman shouted from the distance. Beat the child again? Now the boy talked truth, another man yelled. You no be father, a third person shouted. The billionaire's pride cracked like glass under heat. His lips tightened. His breathing quickened. This wasn't just about the boy now. This was about power, reputation, ego. He pointed at the minibus. I am not negotiating. Bring me. A sound cut him off. Sirens. Growing louder. More than 1, 2, 3, 4. The senator-like man allowed a small smile to touch his lips. Our help has arrived. The billionaire stiffened. Who did you call? My people. The man replied simply. Just then, 4 police vehicles pulled up behind the second SUV. Officers jumped out, some armed, some wearing tactical vests. The gathered crowd scattered slightly, but many stayed at the edges, hungry to see what would happen next. The billionaire's eyes widened. You call police on me? On me? Do you know who I am? The senator-like man stepped fully out now, shutting the minibus door gently behind him. Oh, I know exactly who you are. A rich man who thinks he can do anything without consequence. The senior officer, a tall woman with stern features, stepped forward. Sir, she said to the billionaire, you are in violation of a court directive. You have chased, harassed, and attempted to forcibly take a minor. Stand down. Stand down, he barked. This is my child. Your child who filed abuse reports against you. The officer replied calmly. Your child under temporary protective restriction. Your child who does not want to go with you. The billionaire turned red with rage. This is nonsense. No police officer in this country will tell me what to do. I make the rules. The female officer stepped closer. Not today. He took a menacing step toward her. Immediately, 3 officers raised their rifles, not pointed directly at him, but angled enough to make a statement. The billionaire froze. Cunnell's mother squeezed the boy tighter, tears falling freely now. Not of fear, but relief. The officer continued, You will step away from this vehicle now, or be arrested. The billionaire laughed, but it was a laugh of someone who realized the trap was closing. His arrogance faltered. His voice cracked slightly as he barked. You can't arrest me. You hear me? I am untouchable. The officer replied coolly. In Lagos, nobody is untouchable. Then she signaled her officers. Escort him away from the vehicle. The billionaire's men tensed, but one harsh glare from the officer forced him to step back too. He fought, resisted, cursed, but he was still pushed away from the minibus and pinned beside his SUV. Cunnell watched through the window, eyes wide, tears pouring silently. He had never seen his father unable to control a situation, never seen him powerless, never seen him stopped. Mummy, he whispered, voice trembling. They stopped him. His mother pressed her forehead against his. Yes, baby, they stopped him. Today you are safe. But Connell shook his head slightly. No, he won't stop. Not forever. He will come back. She swallowed hard. Then we will be ready. The police officer approached the minibus and gently opened the door. Madam, she said softly, you and your son need to come with us. We will take you to a safe location where he cannot reach you. Connell nodded, though his hand still shook. His mother lifted him into her lap, hugging him tightly. The officer then looked at Mama Oyin. You too, Ma. You are part of this now. Mama Oyin nodded. Anywhere where dem go, I go follow. The police escorted them into a new vehicle, armored, protected, strong. The minibus was left behind. The crowd slowly dispersed as officers cleared the area. As the new police vehicle pulled away, Connell looked through the tinted glass at his father, held back, controlled, shouting uselessly at officers who no longer feared his money. For the first time, Connell didn't feel like prey. He felt like someone worth fighting for. He rested his head against his mother's chest. Mummy, can we go somewhere quiet? Somewhere far? Somewhere he can't find us? His mother kissed his forehead. Yes, baby, we are going somewhere safe. Somewhere new. Somewhere you can breathe. Mama Oyin squeezed his shoulder from the other side. My Pekin, your suffering no go be your future. The senator-like man, sitting in front, turned and gave a reassuring nod. The worst part is over. Maybe it was true. Maybe it wasn't. But for the first time in months, Connell allowed himself to believe just a little that safety was possible, and hope was returning. The police escort moved quickly but carefully through the streets of Lagos. Inside the armored vehicle, the air was calmer than before, but still heavy with the kind of fear that takes time to dissolve. The officers in the front seat spoke quietly into their radios, coordinating with other units positioned strategically across nearby intersections. Protective custody, emergency relocation, surveillance check. They used terms that sounded like they belonged in a military operation, not the life of a small, frightened boy who only wanted safety. Connell sat between his mother and Mama Oyin, holding both women tightly. His eyes were swollen from crying, his breathing still uneven. But the tears had slowed now, replaced by a deep, thoughtful silence. Trauma has a way of pausing a child's mind, making him wander between fear and hope, unsure which one to trust. His mother stroked his hair softly. Baby, talk to me. How is your chest? Is it still tight? He nodded without looking up. It feels strange, like it's still scared even though the shouting stopped. That's because fear doesn't turn off like a switch, she whispered. But it will calm. It will take time, but it will calm. Mama Oyin wrapped an arm around his back, giving the warmth only a mother figure could give. My Pekin, you strong well. The suffering way you see. Some adults know fit survive am. But God put you here for a reason. Connell blinked. What reason? To show your father say him no be God, she said firmly. And to show the world say even one small child fit break generational wickedness. He leaned into her side, finding comfort in the softness of her wrapper. The senator-like man, seated in the front row, dialed another number. His voice was calm. Yes, we're on the way. Secure the safe house. Double-check all entry points. Nobody leaves or enters without ID. He turned slightly. We're almost there. Connell's mother nodded. Thank you for everything. You don't know what you've done for us. He held up a hand. Please, madam, don't thank me yet. This man you're fighting is not simple. He has connections. But he also has weaknesses, and arrogance is one of them. Connell swallowed. What if he finds us again? The man's voice softened. He won't. Not this time. And even if he tries, he won't succeed. The boy stared ahead. But he found us so many times already. That's because you were still in places he could predict, the man replied. But where we're taking you, even he doesn't have access. Connell's mother tightened her hold on him. A safe home, even if temporary, is enough. I just wanted to sleep without fear. The vehicle slowed as they approached a quiet street lined with tall fences and heavily guarded residential blocks. places meant for witnesses, endangered persons, and high-risk protective cases. One of the gates opened with a heavy mechanical sound. Inside was a high-walled compound with surveillance cameras at every corner. 2 guard dogs pacing behind a secondary lock gate, and officers positioned in strategic locations. It wasn't beautiful, but it was safe. The vehicle parked. An officer opened the door. "You can come out now. The house is secure." Connell hesitated, looking around nervously. "Is he here?" His mother shook her head. "No, baby. This place is protected." The officer knelt to his level. "Your father cannot enter here. He cannot get through the gate, cannot bribe anyone inside, and cannot even stop his car near the street without being arrested. You are safe." Connell nodded slowly, still unsure but trying to believe. They stepped out of the vehicle and followed the officer to a medium-sized bungalow painted cream. The inside was clean, simple, and quiet, a massive contrast to the chaos outside. Connell touched the wall as they walked in, almost as if needing proof that the house was real. He stopped in the living room, looking around with wide eyes. "Is this for us?" "Yes," his mother said, kneeling beside him. "For now, this is home." Connell took a deep breath. "It feels peaceful." Mama Oyin smiled softly. "Peaceful day do like this. A day silent." He walked slowly toward the sofa, pressing his hand against a cushion. Soft, comfortable, safe. For a moment, his small body relaxed. But then, his eyes drifted to the corner of the room. A broom leaned against the wall. Connell froze. His mother noticed instantly. "Baby, what's wrong?" He pointed. "That broom looks like the one he used to beat me that day." His mother's face fell. The senator-like man quickly removed the broom and placed it behind the door. "There, you won't see it again." Connell's breathing steadied, but his body still shook slightly. Trauma doesn't disappear when a door closes. His mother sat beside him, holding him gently. "We will remove anything that reminds you of pain. Anything at all. Just tell me." Connell nodded. After a few moments, the officer returned with documents. "We need to take a statement from you and the boy. It doesn't need to be everything at once. Just what you can handle." Connell's mother nodded. "I'll speak for him first." Connell held her hand tight. "Will I have to talk too?" "Only as much as you feel able," the officer assured softly. Connell looked down. "I don't want to remember." "You don't have it today," his mother said. "You're safe now. Healing takes time." The officer left them alone for the moment. Slowly, the atmosphere relaxed. They explored the small house, the kitchen, 2 bedrooms, a small bathroom. Connell chose the room closest to his mother's. Inside his new room was a bed with blue sheets, a small wardrobe, and a table lamp shaped like a little star. He touched the lamp gently. "It's mine." Mama Oyin nodded. "Everything for here, now yours." Connell pressed a button on the lamp. It lit up softly, reflecting in his eyes. "I never had something like this. In his house, my room was big, but it never felt like mine. It felt cold." His mother swallowed painfully. "This one will be warm." Connell sat on the bed and bounced lightly. A small smile stretched across his face. It was the first true smile since they found him. His mother covered her mouth to keep from crying. But just as things began to feel safe, the senator-like man stood in the doorway holding a phone, his expression dark. "We have a problem." Connell's mother stiffened. "What now?" The man handed her the phone. It was showing a breaking news alert. At the top of the screen, prominent Lagos billionaire accuses wife and others of child kidnapping. Connell froze. His mother froze. Mama Oyin blinked in shock. The senator-like man continued. "He's using the media. He's spinning the story. He's making himself the victim. He's calling you a kidnapper." Connell gasped. "Kidnap? But she's my mummy." The man nodded. "We know the truth, but he's manipulating public opinion." Connell's mother's eyes filled with fury. "He wants to paint himself as a hero?" "Yes," the man replied. "He's already contacted certain journalists. He knows how to twist a story." Connell began to shake again. "He's lying. He's lying about everything." His mother held him tightly. "Baby, the truth will come out." But the senator-like man wasn't finished. He said something else on the broadcast. Cunnell's mother lifted her head. What did he say? The man inhaled. He said he has evidence that you and your family planned to steal the boy for ransom. Cunnell's mother felt her chest collapse. What? And worse, the man continued. He showed a picture from CCTV of the moment when Cunnell hugged you at the roadside. He said you were luring him away. Cunnell cried out. No, I ran to her. She didn't lure me. She saved me. The mother pulled him to her chest. I know, baby. I know. But the world, they don't know, the man said. The room felt colder suddenly. He's building a narrative, the man explained. He wants sympathy. He wants support. He wants the public to turn against you. So he can use the backlash to push for custody again. Cunnell's mother stared at him with wide, horrified eyes. He's not going to stop, is he? He's going to fight us with everything he has. Yes, the man said quietly. And the next step will be worse. Worse. Mama Oyin echoed, heart-thudding. Yes, he replied. He will try to spin the story further. He will try to find a legal loophole. He will use money, connections, influence. This is just the beginning. Cunnell whispered, voice cracking like glass. He said he will destroy me. He won't, his mother whispered fiercely. I won't allow it. But the senator-like man shook his head slowly. You don't understand. He has already moved to step 2. Step 2? She asked. He nodded grimly. Defamation was step 1. Then what is step 2? Mama Oyin asked gently. His eyes darkened. Public intimidation. A sudden knock at the front door. Everyone jumped. The officer outside called out, Madam, you need to see this. They moved toward the door. The officer opened it slightly, just enough for them to hear. Outside the safe house gates, a crowd had gathered, not a violent mob, but a loud, angry crowd holding signs. Return the boy. Stop child kidnapping. Give the father his son. Cunnell's mother gasped. Cunnell clung to her, and in the distance, reporters began setting up their cameras. Cunnell's voice cracked into a terrified whisper. Mummy, he found us again. The noise outside the safe house grew, louder by the minute. It began as scattered murmurs, a few confused voices. Then it turned into a full chorus of anger and misunderstanding. The chants rose in waves, bouncing against the tall compound walls. Each shout slicing through the quiet interior of the bungalow like a blade. Return the boy. Stop kidnapping children. Give the father his son. Cunnell sat on the floor of the living room, knees pulled tightly to his chest, his fingers digging into his small legs. Every chant outside sounded like it came directly for him. His breathing grew erratic. His mother knelt beside him, rubbing his back gently, trying to calm the panic rising inside him. Baby, they don't know the truth, she whispered shakily. They're only shouting because your father lied. But her words couldn't drown out the noise. Cunnell covered his ears. Mummy, make them stop. Please make them stop. Mama Oyin moved closer and placed her large, comforting hand on his head. My Pekin, no look outside. Their voice no fit touch you. Their noise no fit reach your spirit. But the noise did reach him. It crawled into his mind, reminding him of a past where he was always blamed, always scolded, always punished without being heard. Trauma remembers noise more than silence. The senator-like man stepped into the living room from the hallway, tension clear in his face. They're increasing in number. Some of them were brought here intentionally. This is not random public outrage. Someone is orchestrating this. His father, the mother whispered angrily. He is feeding them lies. He wants to make us the criminals. Cunnell's voice shook. They will break in. They will take me. They will give me back to him. No, his mother said firmly, lifting his chin. Nobody is taking you. Nobody. Do you hear me? I will fight anybody that tries. Mama Oyin nodded fiercely. Even if not government, I go stand for front. The senator-like man paced slowly. We have 2 problems now. 1, the crowd. 2, your husband's media push. He's using every connection he has to turn public opinion against you. and public opinion can destroy protective custody if we don't fight. Cunnell's mother looked up at him with weary eyes. What do we do? He's poisoning everyone. The man stopped pacing and turned to her. We fight back with truth, but not now, not until you're protected enough to speak. The banging on the main gate suddenly grew louder. Cunnell screamed and grabbed his mother again. She held him, her own body trembling in fear and fury. The officer from earlier rushed in. Madam, we need to move all of you to the inner room. Now. Cunnell's mother stood quickly. Are they trying to break in? No, the officer said, but they're pushing on the gate, trying to make the guards react. We don't want anything escalating. The crowd outside kept shouting, Kidnappers! Bring him out. Give the father justice. Cunnell sobbed. Mummy, they hate me. They don't hate you, she said, pulling him tight. They don't know you. They only know the lies. The officer led them to a small interior safe room, a narrow space with thick walls, no windows, just a small emergency light. The moment the heavy door closed behind them, the outside noise muffled slightly. Cunnell sat on a mattress placed in the center. His chest rose and fell rapidly. The officer turned to the mother. Madam, we have confirmed your husband's next move. She froze. What move? He has filed a petition claiming the boy was coached into lying. He has also requested emergency custody reinstatement. If approved, officers could be forced to hand the child back. Cunnell gasped. No, Mummy. His mother's face drained of color. Emergency custody? Based on his lies? Yes, the officer replied. And because he is wealthy and connected, the petition will be reviewed very quickly. The senator-like man clenched his fists. He is fast, faster than I expected. Mama Oyin whispered, voice shaking. So, he fit still collect the boy? The officer hesitated, then said the truth. Yes, if we don't counter fast. Cunnell's mother felt her legs weaken. She sank to the floor beside her son. I left that house. I left him to protect my child, and now he's trying to use the law to punish us again. Cunnell touched her face softly. Mummy, don't cry. She pulled him close and kissed his forehead. The senator-like man stepped forward. We need a counter-strategy immediately. To stop the emergency custody, we must prove his abuse publicly. Cunnell's mother wiped her eyes. How? The public listens to him. The man nodded slowly. Unless you speak. Unless the world hears exactly what he did. Cunnell shrank backward. But I don't want people to hear what he did to me. I don't want to remember. His mother pulled him in again. You don't have to speak, baby. You don't have to say anything. But the senator-like man exhaled. You may not have a choice. If the judge rules quickly, you may lose him. And once he gets custody back, he will hide the child. He has the power to erase trails. Cunnell's mother clutched her son. No, never. I will never let him go back. A loud thud hit the safe house gate again. Voices rose. The chanting swelled again. Give the father his son. Bring out the child. Stop kidnapping. Cunnell cried again, shaking uncontrollably. His mother whispered, Shoo, baby, look at me. Look at me. You're not going anywhere. But his small body kept shaking. The officer's phone buzzed. She stepped aside to answer. After a few moments, she returned with an even darker expression. Madam, we have a third problem now. Cunnell's mother stared at her. What now? A video has begun circulating. What video? It shows you and the boy running into the SUV near the market earlier today. It is filmed from a distance and edited to make it look like you were kidnapping him. Cunnell's mouth opened in horror. That's not what happened. I know, the officer replied gently, but the internet doesn't. The mother shook her head repeatedly, her heart pounding painfully. He planned all this. He's been planning for a long time. The senator-like man nodded slowly. Yes, this was never accidental. He knew how to control the public before we even began running. Suddenly, a small knock hit the interior safe room door. Another officer entered with a radio in hand. Madam, we have received a tip-off. Someone in the crowd outside is live streaming. They are calling for the gate to be open so they can rescue the boy. The mother's heart crashed. Cunnel hid behind her. The officer added quietly, "The crowd is being fed information live. Someone is telling them details only insiders should know." The senator-like man's eyes sharpened. He has an informant. Someone among the police or investigative team is leaking information. Cunnel whispered, "But why? Why does he hate me so much?" His mother hugged him tightly. "Because he is a broken man who wants control, not love. But you, baby, you are good. You are pure. You survived him." Cunnel looked up at her, tears in his eyes. "Will we survive this?" She kissed his forehead shakily. "Yes, baby. I will protect you with my life." Suddenly, another shout rose outside. A male voice. Loud, authoritative, distinctly familiar. The billionaire father. They couldn't see him, but they heard him yelling through a megaphone. The boy was kidnapped. "Bring my son out. Open this gate." Cunnel buried his face into his mother's chest. "He's here. Mummy, he's here again." His mother pulled him, almost hiding him inside her own body. "He will not touch you." The billionaire's voice roared again. "Any mother who stole a child is a criminal. Return him now." Crowd erupted. Cunnel began sobbing violently. The officer turned to the senator-like man. "We need to move them to the underground unit. The situation is escalating too fast." Cunnel's mother clutched the boy tighter. "Where's that?" "Below the house. Hidden room. Soundproof. No windows." Cunnel trembled. "Dark room." His mother froze. His trauma flashed across his face instantly. "The storeroom," he whispered. "He used to lock me in the dark." His mother cried instantly. "No, no, baby, this is not the same. It's not punishment. It's safety." Cunnel shook his head repeatedly. "No dark. Please, no dark. Please, Mummy, I don't want dark." Mama Oyin knelt and cupped his face. "My Pekin, you no go day alone. We go stay inside with you. And we go keep light on." His voice was shaking. "Promise?" She smiled softly, though tears ran down her cheeks. "I swear." The officer nodded. "Let's move. We don't have much time." They opened the safe room door and hurried through the hallway. The chanting outside grew louder, angrier. "Bring the boy." "Open the gate." "Kidnappers." Cunnel clutched both women. His heart felt like it would break through his ribs. Just as they reached the corridor leading to the underground stairway, glass shattered somewhere near the front of the house. A rock, then another, then shouting. Cunnel screamed. His mother's grip tightened. The officers shouted, "Everyone move, now!" The senator-like man pulled open a hidden door in the floor. The lights inside glowed warmly, soft, not harsh. Cunnel froze at the top of the stairs for a moment, shaking violently. His mother whispered, "I'm here. I'm here. I won't leave you." Then they descended together. The hidden door shut overhead. The noise outside faded. Cunnel collapsed into his mother's lap, sobbing and shaking harder than ever before. She hugged him with her entire soul. Mama Oyin sat beside them, holding his small hand. The officer secured the lock. Above them, the mob chanted. And through it all, Cunnel whispered in a trembling voice, "He said he will destroy me, and he is trying." His mother kissed his forehead. "No, baby, he will not destroy you." Then her voice shifted, stronger than steel. "We will destroy his lies.